3, recycling.
Chris always tells them off all the time, like if they just chuck stuff in the bins, and she'll go through the bins and sort them. They're stuck in their way and they just won't do anything, so you just do as much as you can without forcing their arm, like.
It's estimated by an American research organisation that every square mile of ocean contains, have you any idea how many pieces of plastic? It's actually 46,000 pieces of plastic per square mile of ocean globally. There was a sailor who used to be involved in oil. He got becalmed in that particular area, his boat went off course. It was just like he was in a sea of plastic, and immediately became an environmentalist and has since devoted his life to it.
Lots of people I know complain about the 5p bag charge. They're going around going, oh, you know, it's ridiculous charging 5p for a bag, and they won't buy a bag. Like, you try to explain to them that the point is they're not supposed to buy bags, it's not very good for the environment. And they're like, oh yeah, but you know, I just want my bag. And you kind of explain that you're doing fine without the bag, but they won't have that. So I kind of hope that even if they don't understand why they're not having a bag, that government bring in more measures like that.
My granddad had a shed down the bottom of the garden full of little tools, everything from tiny watchmaker's tools through to great big wrenches, spanners and hammers. And if anything was broken, he would try and fix it. If he couldn't fix it, he would try and make the part that was broken.
It was from that Nidupin Vintage was born, really, the reclaiming and the finding new uses for old stuff, because it allowed us both to be creative.
Yeah.
Creative in life generally, so creative with how you think about how you're going to use something, how you can reuse something.
A bit like making a den when you're a kid, isn't it?
Yeah, there's definitely elements of that in it. Yeah.
You just use, whereas on a building site you've got a big container that you open up and there's skirting, architrave, 2x1. You work to rules, but when you're making something out of something you've got, there are no rules, are there?
We've gone past skips, and initially we were a little bit hesitant about taking out the skips. Eventually I just end up knocking on doors saying, oh, can we take the wood? And they said, what for? And they said, oh, it's a local community garden. Oh yeah, I know them. And they start coming out of the building with more wood and everything. Yeah, go on, just take it, yeah. Tell them the name of the company, good publicity, blah, blah, blah.
My mum is a gypsy, and they've been recycling for God knows how many years, haven't they? It's something I grew up with, really,
My mother actually would always make my clothes out of garments that had been discarded, which were still very good. She would unpick them and remake them. I feel that reusing things, it's so much more interesting. I find it creative. It thrills me to think that there are people today who actually would like to live a bit more like my grandmother.
We're going to have a waste-free lunch competition, and I will bring my postal scales, and at the end of the lunch I'll weigh their wrappers or anything they brought, and the winning school is going to have trees to plant provided by the Woodland Trust. In years to come we'll come back and see mature trees that they planted.